Okay, second helix completed. This will be the last video of the floating helix series, as it's now fully completed, fully operational. So coming up, I'll take you a bit of a walk around to show you the completed helix, and I'll also be running a 44 class passenger train all the way to the top of the helix. I'm also going to show you 2 light bulb moments that I had, well, that I missed. So it was more for the sake of in hindsight. Nothing major, but one did annoy me a little bit, and the other one, well, I sort of missed it in the planning. Here we are at the second helix. So what I'm going to do is just sort of walk around and take you through the build and where I'm up to date. So as I've mentioned, this helix here is now complete. Where you can see over there, that's ready to transition over here onto level 3, and obviously I've got to put in all the framework against that wall. So I'll just walk around and show you. As I've mentioned in previous videos, I've only had to do 4 tiers on this one because I already brought up the track work to a height of what each of the tiers are in the first place. So basically over there, it was all brought up to that height throughout level 2. So one of the other things I'll show you too, all the wiring's been done. Now I constructed it a little bit differently so I could get a neater wiring outcome, and you can see over there is I brought the wires actually through the supports, and I sort of did this as I went along, chipped out a bit of a section under each of the supports when I was ready to put them in place. So, and that's the same throughout the inside with all the wiring. They've all been threaded through the supports where I could. Now, I did have a couple of little hiccups, and really this is mainly to do because I was doing that slight super elevation. Now, I don't know whether you can see it over there. If I can point to that one and this one here, I've actually, after I put it in, and as you know, I've sort of, you know, I glue it and nail it and screw it as I go around. So, you know, I get to a point if something's gone wrong, then sometimes I get myself in a little bit of trouble. But anyway, look, there was just a couple minor hiccups there where I had to cut them in half. That one over there, I had to put a very small wedge in. That was due to the fact because the bottom tier here is flat, and then everywhere else where I was putting that slight super elevation sort of had that, you know, on the outside 5mm higher in the support than the inside. And when I got to this area here, I sort of forgot about it as I come through with tier 1 here. But anyway, look, I went back, corrected that. So as mentioned earlier, 2 light bulb moments that I had. One thing that I actually forgot to do, that was the first helix. Okay, for those that haven't picked it up, as I come around here, I had the track up to here. This was the end of the helix where it was going to transition onto level 3. Now normally as I come out here, I start to put the cork under the track just to raise that road bed. Well, you can see here, I forgot to do it. Now I do plan to do it from this point onwards going across to level 3. For those that have been watching, you know I glue my track. It was all in place before and all ready to go prior to actually thinking, oh, hang on a minute, I've missed something here. But anyway, look, I can live with that. That's not a major issue. The good thing is because I'm sort of modeling the 70s, 80s, you know, the track roadbed wasn't as it is, as you see it today. So it was a lot lower. A lot of the times you just had dirt. There wasn't sometimes much ballast as well in certain areas. So I plan to have a section here where it'd be mainly dirt, a little bit of ballast, but just to overcome that missing factor that I forgot to put in. Anyway, and number 2. Now this was more of a design hindsight thing. As you know, coming up to level 2, you can see a 44 class there. That's on the up line. Now if you sort of follow that up line, goes all the way around, but what happens is once it comes over to the helix here, the up line is actually going up the helix on the inside. Now for me, ideally, it really should have been on the outside, and that's what it is over on the first helix. It sort of just gives you that extra radius and less pressure on the trains. But look, I haven't had any issues. I've done quite a bit of testing, but I think in hindsight, I probably maybe should have had this track over here enter the helix over there and then sort of just go up and around, and then it would have come out here and around following the same track down here. But anyway, look, that's just a bit of hindsight for anyone that might be planning at the moment, and if you're building helixes, sort of keep that in mind. It's best to have your train going up on the outside. So what I might do now is I'll just give you a bit of a run with the 44 class. Now I have to apologise, this particular loco is a 44 class, and this particular brand is known to have split gears, and this one does have a split gear, so you're probably hearing a thump 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 thump, but anyway, it needs to be fixed. I just haven't done it as yet. So right now my full concentration, and I must admit I'm pretty excited now that floating helix, the number 2 helix, is actually done, completed, operational, ready to go, and I'm ready to transition over onto level 3, final level of this layout. So I'll just chuck a quick picture up here. This is basically what the level 3 is going to look like. I've got the couple of main lines that will go into a portal, and it'll sort of loop back on itself, so it looks like a train's going somewhere and then coming back. But also the main feature up here on level 3 is the coal loader. So that's basically level 3 is what I'm going to be concentrating on, especially over the next month and a half, 2 months. I've got to go and buy some supplies. I've sort of run out all the wood for the framework, so I can start getting that up. It's going to allow me a little bit of time, because I need to think about, originally in my designs, level 2, level 3 over here near the helix, we're going to be filled in with bench tops, but now that I've sort of done a semi-floating helix, there's some major gaps, so I'm going to have this track running in mid-air over to level 3. So I need to sort of think ahead and sort of think about the scenery, what I'm going to do in that area, just so it sort of might help me on how I actually construct that framework moving over to level 3.